Welcome to Cupid's Diaries. We promise you won't be disappointed by today's tale of love, betrayal, revenge, and heartbreak.
My phone on the table vibrated. Probably another email. I looked over. It was Cameron.
I just saw Zane walk into the Plaza Hotel with a woman.
I reread it. What? Zane? At the plaza? With a woman? My colleagues were talking about work, discussing deals and numbers. I should pay attention, but all that ran through my mind was that message. I tried to stay calm. "Excuse me," I said, standing. I barely saw their surprised faces. "I need to answer this," I said, reaching for my phone. The Plaza Hotel was nearby. It wouldn't take much time. Was Cameron mistaken? I hoped she was wrong, that Zane was meeting a client, or it was some mistake. But a part of me knew the truth, that part of me which felt unsure for months now. The late nights and surprise work trips. How he started keeping away from me, saying he was tired or stressed. It was all pointing to something I didn't want to notice. I waved for a taxi and told the driver where to go. What if I got there and felt silly for not believing him? We got to the Plaza Hotel fast. I hesitated. I wanted to stay inside the cab, just leave and pretend it wasn't happening. I could go back to dinner, laugh with my associates, and act all fine. No, I needed answers. I stepped out, walked into the hotel, and looked around the lobby. There was Zane, with a woman next to him, young, beautiful. He placed a guiding hand to her back, directing her toward the elevator. It seemed near. This was happening. I wasn't delusional. Shall I follow him? Talk to him? Start a fight? Or walk away? The elevator opened. They entered. I watched, stunned. I sat waiting in the dark penthouse. Zane was late. That was expected. I had been waiting hours to face him, feeling nothing was right. The truth was hard. At last, the front door did open. I didn't get up.
Julia? Why are you in the dark?
I couldn't answer immediately. Then I spoke, my voice even, but I was far from calm. "Where were you tonight?" He stopped. I knew he hadn't anticipated that. He had expected my silence. Like always.
I told you, I had a meeting that ran late. Why?
He made no excuses. I said, "Don't lie to me, Zane. You were at the plaza. With her." Sighing, as if I was a bother to him.
You're thinking things that aren't true, Julia. This isn't good. Just stop it.
No explanation, just treating me like I'm crazy. "Don't do that. Don't make this my problem. I saw you. I know." Zane stepped closer.
You think you know. But you're always like that. Always concerned, always anticipating the worst.
He was doing it again, blaming me, making me doubt myself. And he was effective at it. So good. I'm not paranoid. I trusted you. I gave you everything. And you've been lying to me. I deserve better. I deserve the truth.
The truth?
He snarled and chuckled bitterly.
The truth is, you've been driving me away for years. Always nagging and needing something from me. I couldn't breathe, Julia. That's why I had to find someone else.
I didn't believe this. He wanted to make this my fault. That I had pushed him away. I knew the truth was otherwise. I always had. "Don't blame me," I said in a quiet voice. "You made this decision, Zane. You decided to cheat. You let me down. I did nothing to force your hand. You walked away." He got his jacket in a hurry.
I can't do this right now. You're impossible.
He touched the door. "Where are you going?" My voice cracked.
Out.
The door slammed. He was gone, but the truth stayed on. Before tonight, our marriage had broken apart. I wasn't so sure anything could be repaired. Dr. Chase Cureton's office was quiet and still. The light blue walls were designed to make people feel calm, but I wasn't one of them. I sat facing him, twisting my fingers in my lap. He was concerned. I couldn't crumble in front of Chase. He always thought of me as strong, but I couldn't stop it.
Julia, what's going on?
I rubbed my eyes, embarrassed to have not kept calm. It's Zane. He's cheating, and he could care less. He truly could care less, Chase. Chase said nothing. He let me continue talking. That is why I went to him in the first place, after all. Not only my doctor, but my friend.
Julia, I know you. You always think of others first. But you can't fix this thing by adding more effort.
I noticed my wedding ring. I wanted to be a good wife, Chase. I put in hard work to improve things. It didn't work. He says I'm the problem and that I bother him too much. Chase sat beside me.
This has nothing to do with you being a good wife. It's about him being a bad husband. You don't have much more to give before it hurts you.
I nodded. I don't know how to leave. I'm a wife. I know nothing different. Chase sighed.
I looked at your health signs earlier. Your blood pressure is too high, Julia. This stress is impacting your health. If you don't do self-care, things might go south.
I stiffened. I'm fine. I'm handling it.
No, Julia, you are not. You try to hold everything together, but is it worth it? What happens when you can't fight anymore? What will happen when your health goes?
I had never thought this would reach my body. He had taken enough from me in my feelings, but now I had to face that he was hurting my health. I can't fail. I can't be that woman with an unhappy marriage.
Julia, you are not failing. You're surviving. You deserve more than to survive, though.
What's your meaning?
You deserve better. You need somebody who respects you, who appreciates you for the special person that you are, not one that makes you feel unimportant. I'm not saying this as your physician. I'm being your friend.
I couldn't argue. He was right. I had let Zane break me down, piece by piece.
Julia, you really should consider what is best for you. Being with this Zane may cost more than your happiness.
Was it time to move on? I did not know, but a little part of me actually felt that maybe it was. I walked into the apartment and I wanted Zane there, ready to talk and say sorry. I didn't need much, just a sign that we weren't completely broken. I was kidding myself. He didn't look up when I entered. That was indicative of his apathy. It saddened me. I made my legs stand in front of him so he would see me. We need to talk. Well, I did not like feeling desperate. Zane raised an eyebrow.
Now, you want to talk?
Why are you acting this way? He looked into my eyes. His didn't feel warm.
You want to know? I'm bored, Julia. You're dull.
So, you're sleeping with other women because you're bored? That's your reason? He laughed.
Yes, some of it. You're not fun and attractive like when we married. You always nag about something and always need something else. What do you want?
I want loyalty. I want you to behave like a husband. And my pain turned into anger.
Husband? I'm not your pet, Julia. I don't have to listen to you.
Zane got up. What about us, Zane? Our promise. He shook his head.
This isn't a marriage. It's a convenience. I've already moved on.
My chest felt tight. Move on? To whom? He smirked.
Ashley. She's 24. She's fun. She's everything you're not.
I kept calm, kept standing. You're really going to throw her in my face like that?
Why not? You wanted to know the truth, didn't you? I've been with her for months. I was with her before I got home tonight.
To him, it was nothing. Why would you?
How couldn't I? You're sad, Julia. Clinging on to some sort of concept of what we once were. It's finished. Move on.
I looked at him. Nothing was left that was worth fighting for. Zane waited, thinking I would beg. I walked away without saying a word. He laughed when I shut myself in the bedroom. I remembered Chase said yesterday,
You deserve better.
"What am I supposed to do?" I asked the empty room, well aware nobody was going to answer. I entered the office of the lawyer. It was smooth and professional, and everything there felt so final. It made me nervous. The lawyer, Mrs. Hardwick, flipped through the documents I'd brought. She glanced up.
Mrs. West, from what you have shown me, it is quite obvious your husband has been moving money and changing your finances. But let me ask you something, okay? Are you ready for this? Because there's no going back anywhere.
Was I ready? I did not know, but he had hurt my trust and my heart. Now I was finding out he was playing with our money too. Yes, I have to protect myself. He has already taken everything else. She nodded.
I understand. From what I have viewed, Zane has been putting money into accounts that you can't reach. This happens a lot in cases like yours. He's getting ready to leave you without any support.
I was so angry. Cheating wasn't enough. He wants to take everything. I had given all my trust to him, and here he was, doing this. Mrs. Hardwick leaned closer.
That is why we must act as fast as possible. We can freeze those accounts, but I need you to gather any proof of the assets being held by both of you. The more time we waste, the more he will try to hide it. We mustn't let that happen.
It was disgusting, the idea that he was secretly taking our money, which I now knew to what depth. What do I have to do?
Start by gathering documents, bank statements, tax returns, anything that proves the money belongs to both of you. I'll file a restraining order on the accounts, but you'll need to be careful. He can't find out we're doing this thing.
It wasn't me, but I had few choices. Zane had been lying to me, and I'd been far too trusting not to realize it. It was over. I said confidently, "I will do it, and I shall get what you need." Mrs. Hardwick smiled a little.
Fine. Just keep in mind, Julia, that this isn't about punishment. It's about getting the things you deserve. You do deserve that.
I nodded, but inside I was fuming. It wasn't just about keeping myself safe. It was about taking back some control. Zane had made me feel weak. Now I had the chance to fix that. I needed to get home and collect what I could before Zane noticed. He had been careful, but there must be something that showed where the money had gone. It was a long drive home. I thought about how well he had fooled me all along. I'd put my energy in saving our marriage, being the good wife. I hadn't seen him for who he was. When I got home, I was glad to find the apartment empty. I went to the study where we store our important papers, took out bank statements and credit card bills, anything that could give a clue, and began searching. The papers showed Zane had been transferring money for months. First small amounts, but recently larger ones. He was getting ready for something. So was I. I collected the papers. I was regaining control. My phone buzzed. A text from Zane.
Running late. Don't wait up.
He didn't know what was going to happen. Things had changed. My resolve hardened. Time to protect myself from the man lying and plotting behind my back. He would not see it coming. Zane always thought he was in charge. He changed what I said, which made me question myself. Tonight, that power was lost. I was in control. I sat at the dining table, facing the divorce papers in front of me. I was calm. with not even one shake. No anger, just me waiting for him to come home. I stopped responding and stopped asking where he was or whom he was with. The door opened and I didn't move. Well, here it was.
Julia, what's wrong?
Zane sounded annoyed. I looked up. I believe you know. He blinked, feeling confused.
What is this?
I gave him the folder. It had the divorce papers. Everything is inside. Let your lawyer check it, but it is quite simple. He sat down slowly, reading the papers. His jaw clenched.
Julia, what is this?
Simple. The penthouse, the accounts, everything's in my name now. You can't touch any of it. He looked shocked.
You're joking.
I am not. You thought I wouldn't see the money you were placing into accounts I couldn't reach? But I have, and now it's done. This marriage is done. His face turned serious. His hands grasped the papers tightly.
You really think you could take everything from me? I created this life. You were just there with me.
I laughed. You really think you built this life? You were having fun and I was paying the bills, looking after the money and making sure things worked. So don't bore me about what you imagine you did. His fist banged on the table.
You can't just leave. We're married.
I can, and I am. I got up. He looked frightened.
You can't be serious. You're just upset. We can fix this, Julia. I'll make it right.
I looked at Zane, whom I once loved, but now feels like a stranger. No, Zane, we can't do this. You've been lying and cheating, using me for years. You've had chances to make things right, and you blew it. Now you have no more chances. He showed desperation.
Julia, please. I know that I messed up, but we can fix this. Just give me another chance.
He reached to me. I drew back, repelled. You had chances. It's too late.
You think you can walk away with all of everything? My house, my money. You'll regret this.
I was unflinching. That's what I'm doing. He got mad.
You'll come back to me. You need me.
I was composed. No, Zane, I don't need you. I regret this, not having done it much sooner. I looked away. He yelled my name. I don't stop walking.
Julia, no! Don't do this. You'll regret it.
He shouted. I stop. You've already messed up everything, Zane, but you won't mess me up. I left, never to look back, only forward. I sat in Chase's office, and it had been weeks since I gave Zane the divorce papers.
Sleeping any better?
Chase asked, concerned, ever present, steady, real. I nodded, but Zane's betrayal was still affecting my sleep. It's getting better. I'm making progress. Chase regarded me.
You made a good choice.
He said.
You acted decisively when it was important.
He spoke softly. I did get help. My attorney found it all. His secret accounts and every way he tried to shift money without my knowledge. We had the accounts frozen before he could take one thing out of them. Since most were in my name, it wasn't difficult to take legal control of them. He never had a chance.
He didn't know you.
He underestimated me, but I didn't underestimate myself. Not any longer. We sat in silence. Chase had been with me the whole time, seeing if I was all right without being too pushy, giving aid where it was most needed. He was my friend.
Now that things have finally died down, how about we celebrate?
Celebrate? I was shocked.
You've been through so much. You at least deserve one moment to rest. Let's go out to dinner. Just a simple dinner to enjoy, a fresh start.
I hesitated. The thought felt strange, unfamiliar. I don't know.
We can take it slow. No pressure. just as friends.
I looked at him, and then, in this moment, I saw Chase for what he was. Someone who cared about me and opened up a future I'd never considered. All right, dinner sounds good.
One step at a time, Julia. You're in control now.
I nodded. I was free. My future finally belonged to me. Later that evening, a knock sounded at the door. I opened it. There Zane stood, looking so unlike himself and having ditched his suits. He was messy, clothes not ironed, face pale, with red eyes, looking so confused.
Julia, may I come in?
I stayed still. No, Zane, what do you need? His shoulders sagged.
I have no place else to go. Ashley disappeared. She found out about the money. Or rather, there is no money. She's gone.
I felt nothing, not pity or anger. That's your problem. You made your choices. He was desperate and tried to bring me back into his life.
I know I hurt you. I wasn't thinking straight. I thought I wanted different things, but I was wrong. You were always the one. Please, Julia, just give me another chance.
I did not feel anything. The old me would fall apart and believe he would change, but not now. I don't owe you anything. You left our marriage, Zane. You lied to me, cheated on me, and tried to take everything that I had. You didn't just hurt me. You destroyed us. His expression changed.
I know I messed up, but we can do better this time. I have changed, I swear.
I stepped back. You're not different, Zane. You're just desperate, and I'm not your safety net. He blinked.
Please, I have nothing left.
That is not my problem. You made your decisions, and now you have to live with them. I am done, I said firmly. Then Zane knew it was all lost.
I'm sorry.
He muttered, barely audible. It was too late to apologize. Leave. Your place is not here, I said firmly.
Julia?
Either you leave or I call security. He said nothing. He walked away. I watched him go. I stood a moment, processing it. Zane was gone. I sat in my new apartment. The place was smaller and simpler than the penthouse I'd left behind. The past months, they were necessarily hard. It wasn't just about getting out of a bad marriage. It was about finding me again. A slight rap at the door brought me back to consciousness. Chase stood there. He was grinning, a bag of takeout in hand.
Hey, I brought dinner. You're hungry, I hope.
I took the bag into the kitchen. I was starving. You always know what I need. He smiled.
Doctor's instinct, I suppose. How's the new place?
It's better. It's nice. Different. This place brings a new beginning. Chase regarded me.
You've made much progress, Julia. You should feel proud.
I do believe I am. We ate in silence. No small talk was needed. Chase just got me. He always had. Afterwards, we went to the couch. I sat next to him.
What's next?
He asked curiously. I thought about it. I am not sure, but that is okay. Chase nodded. He laid a comforting hand on my shoulder.
I'll be here however you want and need me to be. As a friend, or for something more. Whatever you need. No pressure.
I smiled, glad of his patience. Let's go slow. I'm not rushing. I want enjoyment. For a while. He smiled.
Sounds perfect.
I didn't know what the future would hold, if Chase would be a part of it or not, but it would be my choice.